2 deer down this year. We got the nice buck.
I got him, bud.
We got the nice doe. 2 deer butchered, and all you've seen is a couple fast motion clips. I've been getting asked a lot by a lot of you viewers, how do we butcher a deer? It's really hard to butcher a deer and film yourself doing it properly. So last year I had a really great opportunity to get together with the butcher who did all of the animals back at our old homestead, Squash Hollow Farm. This butcher, Jay from Tarzia Meat Packing, it's a family-owned butcher shop. Jay shows the best way to butcher a deer. It's not too complicated. Even though he's a butcher, he's been doing it his whole life. The method he shows you in this video is not too complicated. It's simple enough for somebody even who's very unskilled to repeat. It doesn't take a lot of fancy equipment. This is the first video in the series. We broke this video into multiple videos, and you'll see me release them over the next couple weeks. I'm not gonna put all the videos out at once because not everybody watching this channel is ever going to butcher a deer. So you'll see a video every week, maybe 2, over the next couple weeks until you see the whole process. And when it's all over, I'll make a playlist called How to Butcher a Deer the Butcher's Way, and you can click on that playlist and watch the whole way through when you have your own deer to take care of. This first video, Jay gives some awesome advice on what to do before you actually start butchering. Stay tuned for all the other videos. And if you're looking for an incredible butcher, someone to handle your farm animals, and you live around Connecticut or in Connecticut, check out Tarzia Meat Packing. We'll have a link below to their Facebook page. Great people over at Tarzia. One of the things we miss the most from moving from Connecticut is our awesome butchers who we could take all our animals to. They did such a good job. Can't say enough good about Tarzia Meat Packing. So check them out and enjoy this video. Hi guys, we're here with Jay from Tarzia Meat Packing. Jay is the butcher that we use for all the animals on our farm. All our customers' meat comes here to this facility. And today, we're actually going to be breaking down a deer. Jay's going to teach us some really good tips on field dressing and how to care for the carcass before you start the actual butchering process. These tips are going to make sure that you have the best quality meat on your family's table, and it really starts with the shot. So Jay, let's get into it. What do we have to do to make sure that the venison on our family's table is the best quality we can have?
A lot of people, what I use, we actually field dressed a deer this year in the woods using a hoist, a block and tackle. We had a rope on a hook and we threw it over the tree, and then we hooked the block and tackle to it. We pulled it up to get it high enough off the ground and tied it off, and that's how we were able to field dress deer this year out in the field. If you don't have a hoist or any way to get it up in the air, you're going to do it on the ground. You're going to cut the rear end. This here, you just want to go right around the anus there. You don't want to go any more than that, and that's all you want to do. See that? Just very small thing here. Do not split the crotch. Leave it intact. There's absolutely no reason for this to be opened up at all, because all it's going to just get dirt and leaves in it. You're going to expose meat, you're going to lose meat, and it just makes for a bad experience. The next thing you want to do is after you do that, that's the first thing you do is cut the bung out. The next thing you'll find on the deer's abdomen here is where the breastbone is. You'll put your knife just under the hide. Now, depending on whether it's a buck or a doe, you'll stop right there. And if this is a buck, you'll want to take his private parts off. Just cut it off, and just if he has his thing there on his bag, just nip the end of it and pull the testicles out and throw them away, and that's as far as you're going to go. So once that skin's open up there, then there's a membrane here. You just cut a little bit until you can poke your finger through there to get inside the cavity. Then you use your 2 fingers. You get the 2 fingers in there once you get in there, and put it in between the 2 fingers. Not through like that, rest in there, and you just ride up there. That way the knife doesn't touch the guts. Because if you pop a gut, it's going to make a big mess, and it's going to stink and get all over the place. Next thing you do is you'll reach up in there. After you bung the hole, you reach up in there and pull that out. And make sure that's outside the cavity, because some of the stuff might fall out, the raisinets there. Be very careful when you're field dressing these deer because you don't know if there's any broadheads in there, broken bones or something like that that's going to cut you or hurt you bad. So just take your time with it and pull them out. Once they're all out, you're going to have the esophagus is going to be in there. Just cut that. Everything will fall on the ground. And leave everything else in there until you get home. You can take the heart and the lungs out later on. They're not that heavy. It's not going to be a big deal. Right here would be the breastbone. A lot of guys will saw through that. We'll try to get through with a knife. Go on the sides of it where the joints are. The knife will go through there like nothing. That whole thing comes out and you can throw it away. You don't have to saw it or anything like that at all. And sometimes if you saw it, they're pretty sharp and you're trying to get the stuff out in there and they'll end up, cutting your hands, getting some scratches on it and get a little infected. You don't want that. And that's it. It's nice and clean. And now the deer is field dressed, it's clean, and you don't have any wasted meat that's not necessary.
Wow, that is clean.
Yeah. This is the kidney fat, which is in beef would be called suet. If you can, leave that in there as long as possible. It protects that fillet and keeps it from drying out. And if you have to drag this deer out of the woods, get yourself some zip ties. And you poke a couple holes here on either side, and you zip tie that cavity shut. That'll keep all the dirt and leaves and everything out of it, and you stuff a rag inside there too to keep that nice and clean. If you don't gut that deer within 2 hours, that's where you're gonna have issues because the gas in there and the bacteria will escape from the guts and will go into the meat. And if people have experienced that before with deer that they've killed and found a few hours later and they open it up and it stinks pretty bad and the meat's a little green in there, then it's a pretty safe bet that you're never going to get that smell out and it's going to be contaminated. And we age all our deer.
It's the 18th.
There's one thing that we have that most people don't have is we have a refrigeration so we can do all that stuff. If it's cold enough outside and you want to age the deer a little bit, and when I mean cold enough, if it's going to be 40s or less, not into the 50s, then you can leave the hide on that deer as long as possible. You're going to save a tremendous amount of meat. Aging this meat is going to make a huge difference with the taste and the texture of it, and it's going to be tender. And if a lot of people don't like the gamey taste of venison there, the longer you let it hang, the better it's going to be, and that taste pretty much goes away. So, and that's what we do. We age it for, I would like to let this deer go another few weeks, but I don't have that kind of time. Refrigeration is key.
Right.
Especially you need to have, the temperature can't fluctuate too much. You can't go 30 degrees one day, 60 the next day. It's got to be, like our cooler runs 34 degrees to 36 degrees.
Got it. Nice and
Turns on at
steady.
34, or turns on at 36 and shuts off at 34. So
Got it.
it's only 2 degree difference. And that's why we hang our meat for as long as we do, because it's just 2 degree.
And that aging time definitely improves the quality of
Absolutely.
it as long as you
Absolutely.
have that steady temperature.
Right.
For a guy who doesn't have that steady temperature, if it's 35 degrees out during the day, can you throw it on the, in a shed or something for a day or two? Is that going to benefit anything?
It all depends how long that temperature's going to last.
Got it.
It's all temperatures. I mean, the most you want to go is a 5 degree swing.
Fluctuation. Okay.
If you can't get that, especially with the crazy weather we're having here, it's warm today. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 9 degrees.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be 50 towards the end of the week.
Yep.
Who knows? But if you don't have access to refrigeration, you just have to do what you do.
Okay.
Use your judgment on that. You could take gallon jugs, milk jugs, fill them up with water and freeze them and stick them
Okay.
inside here. That'll keep it cool. I don't use the inside of the stuff here, so if they get a little waterlogged or a little moldy, it's fine. But that's one way to keep it cool also.
Great.
But the most important thing is if you're going to age it there, you gotta leave the hide out. And if you don't, it's going to turn into a piece of wood.
This is a good tip because I've heard a lot of different opinions on this. Some guys say, as soon as you kill it, get the hide off because it gets rid of the gaminess. Other guys have said take it off right away because it's easier to take off, and that's probably true, right, Jay? It's warm, it's easier.
Absolutely.
But from what you've seen aging the deer, I mean, Jay's been doing this 30 years. leaving the hide on, and this is what I always do, leaving the hide on is gonna keep that meat from drying out.
Right.
And so in the end, you're gonna have more meat, you're gonna be cutting less of that oxidized crap.
Right,
away,
yeah, you know, we call it exposed.
Exposed, okay.
Like on the beef, where the top rounds are, where this part of the brisket is, it's all exposed, it gets dried out, it gets a little nasty sometimes. We have to trim all that off and throw it away.
Got
If
it.
you leave it all like this, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, we can't leave cattle with the
Yeah.
hide on cooler, but we do that with veal.
Got it.
Veal is left with the hide on.
Wow.
You know, we scrape all the
Yeah.
fecal off there or whatever, make sure they're nice and clean, and we field dress them just like a deer, and we put them in the cooler just like that. And then a week or two later, we'll take them out
Yeah.
and cold skin them, and then that's what leads to the light color on the veal.
Got it.
If you take the hide off, it'll turn dark.
Oh, okay.
If you leave the hide on, it'll stay that nice white pink, you know, color.
I noticed that your cavity looks much cleaner than what I usually have in there.
Well,
Do you cut out everything, and do you rinse it with a hose, or how do you clean that cavity?
first of all, is that the reason why it's so clean is because the deer was shot in the head or in the neck on this
Right,
one.
okay.
So I don't destroy anything by doing it. Most of my deer, actually all of my deer, except for this one, this is the first one I haven't shot in the head in a long time. I shoot them all in the head. That way I don't lose anything. I don't have to track them. They're down.
Yep.
We go pick them up, and we don't lose any meat whatsoever because there's no point in doing it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna just blast the crap out of them
Yep.
and do whatever. So, and the next thing you do is don't be afraid to use a hose.
Okay.
Just hose everything off. You know, you start from here, you wash that out, wash everything out. Everything goes from top to bottom. Wash off the feet where you cut them off. It gets rid of any loose hair down there, and, you know, down through the neck. If it's a doe, you don't want the head or whatever, cut that off and wash all that off. You can never hurt with enough water.
Okay.
You know.
I've heard people say things, and again, this is why we're doing this with a professional butcher today. I've heard people say, "Oh, you spray with water, you can, get bacteria."
That's the biggest myth out there is don't use water.
Got it.
The more water you use, the cleaner that thing's gonna be.
Yeah, it's super clean. I've never seen such a clean cavity. So, all right. Well, in the next video, Jay's going to show us how to skin the deer the right way. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. And in tomorrow's video, you'll see how to skin this. That is the end of part 1. The next video coming out is going to show you how to skin a deer. It'll show you the whole entire process, very in depth. So stay tuned, look for that, and we'll have a playlist soon. So you can just follow that playlist. And we'll see you in tomorrow's video. If this adventure looks like fun but you don't know where to get started, we have a hunting course. It's a video course that will take you through every step of the learning process, from how to practice, what weapon to use, right up to how to butcher your deer. You can click here